Hello again and welcome to another review of one of my whiskies. Now, what better a whisky to have on a lovely autumn day like this than Johnnie Walker Green Label. It's very sunny outside at the moment, but unfortunately where my flat is situated, my room is almost always facing the sun, so if I were to open the curtains now, yeah, can't really see the laptop at all. So unfortunately I'm trapped in the darkness of my room, but not to worry. Hold on. That's my battery running out. I'll edit this out if I can be arsed. So before we continue, this can go. And I have a new arrival. Oh yes, I do. Something that arrived in the post today. A proper whiskey glass. Vital for if you want to get the most flavour and the best smells from your whiskey. And people might say, well, what difference does it make? And when I drink my whiskey out of a normal glass, I don't have one handy, but you know, even this one, people, mainly my girlfriend, always say, oh, it doesn't make a difference to the taste, you know, it's just a glass, but it does make a difference. And I'll tell you why. Firstly, you've got a wide rounded base, a bit like a brandy or cognac glass, but slimmer. And that maximises the surface area that the whiskey can oxygenate. It also, I don't know, I suppose it allows the whiskey to flow better when you're spinning it around the glass. But also the main point is that it gets thinner towards the top, so nosing it is a lot easier. In fact, just wondering if I should rinse this out before I use it. It has a slight sulphury smell. Bit like rotten milk. Well, one thing that won't have a sulphury smell is this Johnnie Walker Green Label. Oh no, no. You won't smell any sulphur on this. Here we have it. Johnnie Walker Green Label is a bit of a strange one because, for a start, it's not... Oh, sorry, lost the screen then. It's not widely available. I've never seen it in a supermarket in the city I live in, Sheffield. I'm sure you can find it somewhere, but of the supermarkets I've been to, I'm yet to have found Johnnie Walker Green Label. So I'm just going to set my laptop so that it doesn't turn the display off. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I've not really ever seen it in a supermarket. I did get this at duty free as well as a couple of others. So Johnnie Walker Green Label is a step up from Black Label. It's a little bit older, a few years, and it was branded, I think it was launched in the late 90s, so it's the youngest of the Johnnie Walkers. It was branded as the outdoors whiskey, hence the green. It's supposed to be a taste of nature, whatever that means. And there's something special about this which sets it aside from the other whiskies, which is that the other Johnnie Walkers, which is that it's a pure malt, as you can see here. The art of pure malt. Now, if I compare that with a Black Label, you can see it says blended Scotch whiskey. And if I show you Green Label, it says blended malt Scotch whiskey. And you may think, oh, it's just a meaningless difference to the label, it's just a different way of putting it, but it does actually mean something. And what it means by blended malt Scotch whiskey is that it's made only from single malt whiskies. It's not made from any grain whiskies, unlike Black Label. So for that reason, I guess it has a lot more character to it. It's to me not quite as rounded. It has a couple of really what will the word be? Powerful flavours to it, and it's definitely more challenging than Black Label as well. It's giving you more of a taste of a single malt than a blended whiskey. So yes, it was introduced as the outdoors whiskey, so for that reason you have flavours of cut grass, sea salt, that kind of thing. So yeah, well, let's see. Let's have a taste. Also, this has a cork, so I'm just going to pour myself a glass. There we go. Yeah. So, I'm just going to let this breathe a little bit, and while I do that, in fact, putting a coaster on your glass, what that does is it allows the alcohol vapour that comes off to become trapped in the glass, and it intensifies the nose, apparently. So if I show you to the back of the box here, I don't know how good my camera is, to be honest, but it shows you the 4 signature malts. These aren't the only 4 malts used in the whiskey, but they're the main contributors. So you've got Talisker, Linkwood, Kalila, oh so that's Cragganmore, and then finally Kalila. So the Talisker is supposed to provide the power, Linkwood the finesse, Cragganmore the heart, Kalila the mitty blah 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 blah. Don't really care about what they have to say on the box. Just words to attract you to buying the whiskey. Right. So, I'm going to have a wee sniff. So on the nose, you've got a lot of toffee, salt, hay, a bit of elderflower, a hint of fruits in general, but elderflower in particular. A bit of a creamy nose, but with the toffee, you could say crème brule, perhaps. Leather, maybe that's going a bit too far. But yeah, there's quite a lot of smells coming off this whiskey. There's quite a lot going on there, and it's definitely sharper. It's definitely has more of a noticeable character to the Black Label. The Black Label is very laid back for me. It's a very easygoing whiskey. This definitely, you can definitely smell the peat from the bruiser malt such as Talisker and Kalila. So I'm gonna have a taste. Has a very powerful arrival, and I could hazard a guess that it would be the Talisker. There's a big, very smoky arrival. But as the palate goes on, it mellows out and it becomes a lot sweeter. And the heart, the Cragganmore, is supposed to be responsible for Green Label's exceptional malty taste, and there's definitely a lot of malt in the palate. They say sandalwood, I say slight peat, caramel, burnt wood, a bit of coffee in there, perhaps. Finish, short but sweet. In fact, you give me 1 second. Right, back. I forgot to get some water. I was on Black Label mode. and didn't think to add any water to this whiskey. Unlike Black Label, Green Label benefits greatly from water, in my opinion. So, with the addition of, I'll give it a teaspoon, maybe a bit less. Okay. Let it mix in a little bit. So with the addition of water, you get a lot more smoke, a bit more oak. Also, the arrival is a lot more laid back, and a lot more of the caramel and the burnt wood is coming through. I think the Talisker seems to be intensified on the nose but subdued on the palate. But all in all, a very, very good whiskey and a very good blend. Personally, I prefer the Black Label, but with the 3 years of extra age on this is a 15-year age statement. Again, the youngest whiskey in the blend, not the average or the oldest, but the youngest whiskey in the blend. It definitely has a bit more maturity to it, but it's not ancient. It still has that alcohol kick that you get from a younger whiskey, and I think it works quite well with this Green Label. So if you find it in the shops, I definitely recommend it. I don't know really the price of the whiskey on the high street. I think it's priced around between £30 and £40, so it's quite an expensive whiskey. And at the duty free where I bought it, it was actually on the deluxe whiskey shelf. But if you ever see it on offer or you see it around, and you're looking to try out one of the more, well, how would I put it, higher quality Johnnie Walkers, then Green Label is a good place to start. So thanks for watching this whiskey review, and I'll hopefully be making another one soon, and that will be probably on a Glenfiddich, so look out for that one. Thanks for watching, see you later.